Hey, what's up guys? My name is Zach. Welcome back to the channel. I've been thinking about a few things over the past couple days here, just in regards to Rockstar, in regards to Red Dead Online, and I kind of wanted to communicate these things to you guys inside of this video. So I hope you guys kind of can understand where I'm coming from with this, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, concerns, your own issues, etc. This is going to be like a multi-part video. The first thing is I'm going to talk about the things that are on my mind that has to do with Red Dead Online and Rockstar and the new update moving forward, and as we move into the future of Red Dead Online and what it can be and how it can realize its potential, etc. And then I'm going to offer some solutions for Rockstar and Red Dead Online in general, so hopefully they can address these problems and things like that moving forward. So I hope you guys do go on to enjoy. Drop a like if you guys do. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. But I just wanted to get started here that this isn't just a game problem. I will get to that later in this video, but this is a Rockstar company structure problem as well that I want to address in this video. So, like I said, I want to bring the biggest problems to the table with the game right now, offer solutions going forward. Us as fans of the game are at like an outside perspective looking in. And so far, the Rockstar communication with fans has not been good recently at all, despite their weekly Newswire updates. Now, I know they talk about a lot in these Newswire updates, but I just mean general communication from Rockstar as a company. Like I said, this isn't just a game problem. This is Rockstar's like core company structure is what's impeding this game from moving forward. The game isn't hyped at all on the internet. Like, no one cares anymore. This game has a community, and I thank you guys for being a part of my own community as we can contribute to the greater overall general Red Dead Online community. But this community hasn't flourished at all yet. It hasn't had a chance to grow really with like a good game or anything. So far, the only community of Red Dead Online have been people coming from the really good single player, expecting a great online experience and dealing with these problems ever since launch. So like I said, the game just isn't hyped on the internet at all. No one cares. Just look at the biggest YouTubers, look at their channels, look at their social blades to see their views per day and their views per month. Of course, Red Dead Online isn't really getting any attention by any major channel at all. And pretty much every Red Dead Redemption 2 channel that has influence, channels that are greater than my own channel size, they've been on a steady decline since January of 2019. Now, they're still growing, but they're not growing nearly at as fast of a pace as they were at the end of October when the game launched, in November, or even December. It's been a huge decrease in January and February and March so far than the channels who were growing a lot when Red Dead Redemption 2 first came out, and then throughout November and December. And with the February 26th update, that brought back some attention to the game, and Tuesday's updates were good days for my channel, but the past 2 weeks have been awful because of the updates have consisted of some like limited edition drip-fed clothing and either fishing challenges or target races as game modes. And that's just, that makes me yawn, honestly. The content that's being drip-fed is pathetic. I really thought the February 26th content all would have dropped at once. It should have dropped all at once. I know Rockstar is a big fan of drip-feeding their stuff. That's how they do things. I'm a supporter of drip-fed content. If there's a ton, like in GTA Online, if there's 20 new cars coming in a DLC, I don't want to get all 20 cars in one day. I'd love to get 10 of the new cars and then get one car every single week for another 10 weeks. I think that really draws out the hype, it draws out the attention to the game, and it keeps it relevant on the internet, and it keeps people caring about it, continuing to come back for more content. But when Rockstar is trying to drip feed clothing in Red Dead Online and fishing challenges as a free roam event and target races, which are just regular horse races with targets, nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. And it's really sad that that is what really the only thing we have to look forward to in the drip feed. Now, on the bright side, we have a new spring update coming out. I don't think it's going to come out in April. I don't think it's going to come out in June. I think it's going to come out sometime in May. We're not into summertime until, what is it, like the 22nd or 23rd of June. So it could come out at the beginning of June, but we still have Up in Smoke and Plunder to come in the drip feeding updates on April 2nd and April 9th. And then I'm sure we're going to have a 2 or 3 week break of just absolutely nothing added to Red Dead Online until we get this next major spring update, which I kind of want to move forward and shift gears into and talk about this stuff. And in this update, we have some really cool things. We have further additions to the anti-griefing system already in the game with a hostility system. I have a video about that here on my channel. Same with the offensive and defensive playing style options. Again, just different things I have these things described on my channel. You guys can also check out the Rockstar Newswire if you want to read up on it. I'm not going to explain it in this video. That's not what this video is about, is to give you guys the news on the new update. But those are things coming into the game. And then the things that people really, really want aren't just new game modes, but also new online story missions, which are a Land of Opportunities missions, and new free roam mission givers and mission types. And also the introduction of dynamic events and a new DLC weapon, which is the Lamat revolver. We have some updates coming to the character creator and restructured daily challenges. So we have a couple things coming here, and the biggest highlights are the new DLC weapon, the new anti-griefing measures, and the new online story and stranger missions coming into the game. We still don't have an announcement yet on when this game is leaving beta. A couple months ago, Rockstar said that Red Dead Online will only be in beta for a few or a couple more months, and now we're pretty much at that point. So I'm expecting around the time we start to hear more about this new spring update is when we'll hear about, when the full version of Red Dead Online is going to go live, when the beta is ending. And that's kind of something I wanted to touch on in this video as well. What types of missions we're getting in this spring update is really going to determine the course of this game pretty much forever, because everyone's excited for these new online story missions. Everyone's excited for these new free roam missions, as well as I am. I can't wait to play these things. My one concern, though, and I've talked about this on Twitter, I posted this on Twitter, and you guys were kind of agreeing with me on these same things, and I'll just kind of go over pretty much exactly what I had to say in these tweets. I'll just throw them up on screen really fast and you guys can read it. So I basically said, the harder I try to keep energy and hype alive for Red Dead Online, the more I see my audience resist and move away from the game. I anticipate this reception until that major spring update. If the story and stranger missions are underwhelming, well, that's a wrap on Red Dead. We're all excited for new missions, including myself, but I'm worried Rockstar is spending too much time motion capturing and creating cutscene movies for the story missions, and we'll be left with minimal engagement with the actual playability of those missions. I welcome the new stranger missions as well, although Rockstar said stranger mission givers, meaning just people with potential mission objectives still being mail delivery boys or stagecoach escorters. If these missions are reimagined, then great, but they are just too basic as is. The update still won't be what makes Red Dead Online hyped on the internet again. The world will just be as hollow and stale as it has been since launch, and we'll just have a new hostility system and new faces giving us repetitive missions, and I'm still waiting on the beta ending post. So I touched on a few things here. That's my main concern, is Rockstar's trying to craft this story to online. We have the Land of Opportunities missions where our character is embarking with these bounty hunters doing these missions. That's all cool and great, but to be honest, I want to get your guys' opinion down in the comment section. Who is still playing those story missions? I sure am not. I stopped playing them when I completed them for the first time, because you don't get paid any money for doing them. If you complete the mission how you're supposed to, and you don't spend the whole time hunting in between to gain extra money and XP, if you just do the mission how it's supposed to be played in the normal amount of time, you make like $7 or $8, which is less than a normal stranger mission. The first time playing bonus for doing the story mission, you got a ton of money. You got like $100, $200, even $300 here or there, I'm pretty sure, within those 8 missions. And so you got a lot of money for playing them once, but after that, there's really no point to going back on them. And that's going to be what the majority of people do. They play it once, they get the huge payout bonus, and then they don't touch them again. So Rockstar is spending all this time making movies, making these cutscenes, motion capturing real-life actors, building these cutscenes from the ground up, and then we have another 10 minutes of mission gameplay and see what the programmers did with the level design, etc. And then we don't touch the story missions ever again. It's not like Heist where you can continue to replay them. Rockstar needs to add some incentive to the story missions for people to replay them, because right now making cutscenes for all these things isn't sustainable. This is a video game. We don't want to watch cutscenes. We want to play the game. The cutscenes were really cool in the story mode, but we also had a ton of content in the story mode as well, and I'm afraid Rockstar is doing the wrong thing here if they're just going to focus on making cutscenes so much with these story missions. The other thing is the free roam missions. We are getting new free roam mission givers and mission types, so people giving us the missions as well as new missions in general. I'm excited for that. I just hope that the missions we have right now aren't the new types of missions we get in the future as well. Like, I don't want to see a mail delivery mission 2.0. I want to see a totally new type of thing, and I'm afraid if they don't nail that, then we're going to be just as bored as ever. I'm excited for all this stuff, guys. I don't want to make it sound like, we're all doomed and everything, but in a sense, if this game can't get in full gear come this new update, which I don't think it will, then we're in a really bad spot right now, and I just don't want to see the community here in that position. So that's something I want to talk about with the new update. The open world with this new Red Dead Online update coming in the spring, it's going to be just as empty, just as stale, and just as hollow as it has been since the beginning. And if the new Stranger missions aren't overhauled in an exciting way and don't bring some serious value to the game that isn't there currently, then we're going to be in a really bad spot. And it's almost unimaginable that the game can be any worse off than it is right now. But Rockstar needs to be very, very careful with this next update that they've talked about and announced so far in terms of the content they've released and when. Because this content, again, just like the February 26th update, it's going to be drip feeding. I'm sure they're going to drip feed everything here. We're going to get the hostility system, the offensive and defensive playing style options day one, the updates to the character creator and the restructured daily challenges, and maybe the dynamic events as well. But I bet the Land of Opportunities missions, the free roam missions, the DLC weapon, which is the Lamont revolver, these things are all going to be drip fed throughout the coming weeks. And that's something I'm concerned with as well, is people don't want to deal with this drip feeding right now. This Red Dead Online beta needs content. We can't afford drip feeding right now. We just need everything put into the game as soon as it's ready. We can't afford Rockstar delaying it for hype, because guess what? This game isn't hyped in general, all right? When this game is hyped up and people actually care about it again, and huge social media influencers are talking about it, then we could talk about drip feeding content to extend the hype. But right now, the game isn't hyped in the first place, so drip feeding the content to keep attention to the game is only pissing the current players off. So now I want to talk about Rockstar's addressing complaints that people have. They've done a few things here. They've kind of taken 4 different paths. Some complaints, Rockstar has appropriately responded to them. Others, they've resolved the complaints in a timely manner to the customer's satisfaction, which would be the best possible scenario. We have a problem with the game, say we don't like this type of experience in the game, and we want it removed, and Rockstar removes it because it fits in line with their own business model, it fits in line with our wants and needs for the game, and everyone's happy. Other times, other complaints we have, Rockstar has made a good faith effort to resolve those complaints, even if us, the customers, and the fans aren't satisfied with the resolution. I feel like that's been a lot of what we've got recently. Rockstar has tried to address things, and specifically with the anti-griefing system. We want invite-only lobbies. We want passive mode. And Rockstar hasn't given us those things, but they've given us pretty much everything besides that. But it's not like they haven't given us anything or addressed griefing at all. I think griefing's been the biggest focus that they've had since Red Dead Online's launch. And then probably the biggest thing, the one that I have an issue with, is most of the complaints about the Red Dead Online beta, Rockstar as a business has failed to resolve those underlying causes of a pattern of complaints. We all talk about the horse bonding glitches. We all talk about griefing as a problem. And those are things that the business of Rockstar has failed to address really at all. And a lot of these things are really old. They're not new issues. A lot of these issues have been in the game since launch, and multiple title updates later, they're still in the game. So some solutions I have, these are 2 very broad solutions, but I think these are just 2 things that I don't think Rockstar is really ever going to change to exactly this, but these are just things that I think that would overall help the game a lot. So overall, better communication is one. It's just Rockstar company culture to be this completely official and almost like elitist developer, where all the communication comes from their official announcements, like the Rockstar Newswire updates, or if they have any huge announcement or trailer that they announce on their website, or post a trailer for an upcoming game on YouTube, etc. Big things like that. But the Rockstar Twitter feed is bland overall. It's either mentions of their Newswire updates or some occasional retweeted fan art, and that's about it. Nowadays, it's typical, if not customary, for developers to dedicate their Twitter and their social media profiles to not only making these official, sanctioned announcements, but also responding to fans' tweets and issues about their game, or even just constant teases and other communication about what to expect going forward from that specific company. When there are issues in GTA Online or Red Dead on the servers, or any major game-breaking glitches or anything like that, Fans either have to find out in-game or look on the Rockstar website to see what services are still online. Very rarely will we see Rockstar tweet saying there's an issue in one of their games, like an issue on the servers for one of their games, and they're working on a fix and they'll have the services back online soon, as just an example. When they announce something like this, it's super rare, and it comes from the Rockstar support Twitter, which is secondhand and a completely separate Twitter account from the main Rockstar Twitter profile. That's just how they do things at their company. They separate their support Twitter from their main one. They keep their main one very clean, very official, and that's what I'm talking about. And then they have their support Twitter. But they also don't really use the support Twitter either. The only times that they've actually used it since Red Dead Online has launched have been when Red Dead Online launched that first day, and I tweeted at them and I got a response, which was really cool. And then the only other time was a couple weeks ago when the GTA Online and Red Dead Online servers went offline for a whole day. Other than that, the page doesn't respond to incoming tweets from people. In between those two times, they never did, and I never saw anything. And they never really made any other attempts at posting besides at the beginning when Red Dead Online launched and a couple weeks ago when there were those huge server blackouts. So that's one thing. Overall, better communication. We want to see Rockstar be a part of our community, not like we're the fans and we're here and Rockstar's up on this high mountain on a throne or a pile of gold. We want them to, feel like they're engaged with the community. If we just have communication with them and we feel like our problems will be heard and implemented at some point in the future and solutions for those problems will be implemented at some point in the future, I think we'll be okay. But Rockstar just doesn't talk to us at all. And it's not like they're required to. I'm not saying that. But when every other developer is doing that, because that's just game company culture now, the developer is usually very involved with their community. And that's just never been Rockstar as a whole. Everything's gone through the newswire. Everything's gone through their website. And in 2019, you got to be different. You have to have a real social media presence. You have a brand to uphold, and they're just choosing to uphold their brand like they're operating in 2005 or 2010. The other solution I have is they just need to be more responsive in fixing their game, especially since it's a beta. The February 26th title update brought over 300 bug and glitch fixes to Red Dead Online. That's amazing. Thank you so much for fixing those 300 plus glitches. With that February 26th title update, it also brought another 300 new problems to the game, including more bugs and glitches with it. When there's a big glitch like the horse bonding glitch, that's still been in the game since day one. Any other developer would have said, hey, we've received a ton of reports about players having glitches with their horse bonding, and that's a very crucial part about their horse and their character in Red Dead Online. We'll have a fix very, very soon, and if it's that day, or the next day, or by the end of the week, then we usually see the developer saying, here's the fix, it's being implemented into the game at this time. We still haven't had a fix for the horse bonding glitches. I'm surprised it didn't come in the February 26th title update. Rockstar seems to be waiting to compile this huge list of bug fixes to then implement. How do they know those bug fixes actually fix the bugs if they don't just put them in the game to test them? Like, I get that that's the point of quality assurance teams, that's the point of QA teams in companies, but it's the same reason that Rockstar has this beta in the first place. We saw how broken the beta was at launch, so how do we know Rockstar's attempts at fixing those problems are still going to actually fix the problems unless they get those solutions and get those fixes into the game right away? And then what if their fix is also broken as well? Then they need to do a fix 2.0. They need to do a second fix to that, and there's just too much time in between these things. When we have an issue in the game, it's almost like Rockstar is working half a year behind us. They need to tighten those gaps. They need to be way more responsive, all right? I don't care about downloading a bunch of title updates throughout the week, no matter how small they are. If you have 5 fixes to put into the game, put it in the game. We do not have time to waste. Do not wait to compile your huge list of 300 fixes because you also brought another 300 new problems when you implemented those fixes. When you fix something, throw it into the game. It shouldn't be that hard. That is exactly what every other company does nowadays, and I get it, full title updates cost money, etc., but that's also the point of having a game in the beta phase. You bypass those certification processes for Microsoft and PlayStation to basically accredit your patch saying that, it's all good to go. As long as you pay us the money now, we'll push out the patch. That's how updates work between developers and gaming platforms like Microsoft and PlayStation. They're the ones actually pushing the update out to players. Rockstar basically has to pay either Microsoft or PlayStation every single time they push out those title updates. With a beta game, you're not required to go through that whole process. Basically, with a game that's classified as being in beta, it should allow the developer to say, hey, we fixed this one issue. we can implement it into the game right away and it will get pushed out to every single player. There's no need to go through that certification process with Microsoft and PlayStation. This isn't a beta as we would see doing those things. It seems like Red Dead Online, when you get a title update for Red Dead Online, right now we're in version like 1.07 or going to be in 1.08. The game is already version 1.0, so that means that the game isn't technically in beta, because a beta game would be 0.80 or 0.85 or whatever version it is, right? Version 1.0 means complete, finished, full game. So whenever this beta period ends, I wonder what we're going to see. And basically where I'm getting at with this video, because we're going on way too long, I want to let you guys go finally. I don't want to waste too much of your time listening to me. Just, you know, I've gone over all these notes here in front of me, and I just wanted to make sure I touched on everything because I don't want to come out with multiple videos on this, but I feel like this video is super important for you guys to watch. So basically what I just to summarize and moving forward, the point of me talking about all this stuff is because I had all this stuff in my mind. I wanted to get it out to you guys, and unless Red Dead Online doesn't feature everything from the single player, all the interactions, all that type of content that made the single player great beside the actual story, if that stuff doesn't come to online, then online will never be super cool. No one's ever truly gonna care about this game. This game is never going to reach its full potential, and that would be a big shame. So thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about all these things, what type of issues you have with what I said, what type of issues you have with Rockstar. I just want this to be some really big dialogue, so I would love to know what you guys have to say down in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna keep it positive. You guys know I always keep it positive here on the channel. This isn't me complaining. I know it sounds like I am. I'm being really loud. I love just talking really loud into the mic. I just love talking to you guys. That's why I do what I do. I love talking to all you guys, interacting with you guys in the comments, making fun videos. I want to see this game succeed. I've been making videos on this game, daily videos on this game, since May of 2018, and I do not want to stop. But eventually, if this game continues to go downhill, which I almost can't believe it can go any further downhill, then eventually there's just not going to be much to talk about without it sounding really stupid and without me faking being excited for this game. Because right now, there's just not much to be excited for. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.